This is Slav.
And I am COH, and this is These People Are Sick. There we go. We kind of slowed it down and locked in there, I guess.
Yeah. I think the slowing down is kind of the secret there. That was the best run we've done yet.
Definitely. Well, I was thinking we need to come together with a count or something, if we were gonna do it live every time, because otherwise it's gonna be hard as hell to keep it aligned, especially with a lag between computers and stuff.
Right. Yeah. Get a metronome going.
Yeah. But I figured we could just kind of splash it together, and I'll get something nice put together. Maybe toss this in there.
I'm telling you, they're sick.
But yeah, we'll get that going. Add some little sound bites.
Crew member, truly.
But yeah, so we're well into the swing of the holiday season here now. It's been a couple of weeks since we've had an episode. Because of the holidays, a little bit of hectic stuff going on our ends on both sides of things. So I hope everyone listening had a happy Thanksgiving. I hope that everyone's enjoying our transition into the winter here and cooler weather. And I hope everyone spent good time with their families. I know that Slav's mentioning to me he had some good Thanksgivings.
Yeah, it was decent, dude. It was decent. I feel like it was the Thanksgiving for my family was probably the best, least drama family Thanksgiving that we've had in quite some time, and that was great. And honestly, nice. I wasn't really expecting that because just everything going on, but but it's cool. It's cool. I mean, I think the psyop waves have calmed a little bit.
Oh yeah. Oh, you mean as far as go home and start confrontations with your family?
Just the whole thing. The whole thing, right? I think it's just this big unconscious thing we're all riding on, and I there wasn't really any issues, so that nice, was fucking cool.
Yeah, it's nice when you can get together for the holidays and everything goes smoothly.
Yeah.
I feel like that's one thing I like the most about the holidays. I know as soon as it gets into November, I start seeing pumpkins around, kind of cornucopia type baskets and decorations. I'm like, hell yeah, dude. Thanksgiving is coming up. Christmas is coming up. I always love them. And I don't even know why. It's not even particularly I had the best traditions or anything growing up. But it's just I don't know. I feel like I remember it as a day where everyone in your family at least tries to act like they like each other. Because, throughout the rest of the year, everyone loves each other, your family. So you always love your family. But you don't always like your family at any given time. But the holidays kind of seems like it's a time to reset a little bit. Everyone kind of at least starts on a good footing until you kind of maybe get into extended family. That's when things can get a little hairier. But
and you get that wily uncle or aunt in there, and it's wild card.
Yeah, you get a Cousin Eddie type character coming in, acting wild.
Wilding out for sure. Yeah, we did. Well, I mean, I just told you, but got to tell the third person in the conversation here. We did fucking her family and my family, and hosted one, attended the other, and it was good. It's a bit of a ringer to do just straight up 48 hours of Thanksgiving, but thankfully, and I think this is the way you want to do it. Day one is us hosting, and then day two is just kind of rolling over the finish line.
Oh yeah.
And I say rolling over the finish line because I ate so much fucking food that I'm like an orb, just rolling on the ground.
Yeah, waddle mode.
Yeah, I'm just straight up waddle mode. The waddle season, dude. Like a turkey's waddle.
Yeah.
It was good, man. It was good, and now we're a little ways into fucking Advent, and that's fucking that's bussin', and it's great, dude. I'm all about the holidays this year. I'm honestly liking it. And I think okay, I kind of had a little bit of an epiphany about this, and I don't know, maybe I'll throw this all out by next week or something. But it's we've lived through so many just waves of psyops I was talking about that are just oh my gosh, terror and fear and hate and all this horrible shit, to where I kind of took a step back a couple weeks ago, and I was like, okay, Christmas is a fucking huge psyop in a way, right? Because
Yeah, commercialized Christmas for sure.
Exactly. That's you just cut out the exception that I should have made there. Commercialized Christmas is a total psyop, right? But it's like, dude, fuck it, man. After like 4, 5, 6, I've lost count of how many years it's been of just like full on terror MK Ultra psyops. I kind of like that there's one that's literally just like, hey man, everybody should just like be happy and like fucking just like get a little pudgy, eat a lot of fucking food, and just be jolly.
Yeah, get comfy, be jolly.
Yeah, and I'm just like I know that you people are just like trying to fucking sell me wrapping paper or something, but like I'm gonna like if I don't have the choice of opting in or out of psyops, I would rather have a positive psyop.
Oh my god, yeah. I mean, I'd much rather you try to get money out of me to buy like gifts for people I love or like a cool product or something I might enjoy on Black Friday than like get money out of me to buy like the new round of whatever the fuck, COVID take home medicines or, bullshit like that. So yeah, I definitely prefer that. I don't know. I mean, I know it's not good and it's really commercialized and all this and that, but like, I don't know. I kind of like going in a mall during Christmas time, just like it's a little bit brighter in there, a little cheerier. I know it's hectic and there's people running around and it's like a horrible place to spend money and it's like, just late capitalism, essentially a shrine to late capitalism, but I still like it. And it feels like now in this era too, like the mall is kind of like a dying thing. It's not really like you can't really go there and like really soak it in like you used to in the late 90s or the mid 2000s. And so like holidays, they kind of try to revamp it a bit. People go out. So I like that. I like the lights. I like that there's people try to make things look pretty and merry. And that's always nice. Like it's nice to live in an area or have a time of the year where you're going around and people are like trying to spruce things up and trying to put life into things and trying to decorate and be pretty, because I feel like most of the time through spring and summer and fall, unless you're someone who really does a lot of landscaping in your yard or whatever, there's not really a lot going on. Like there's not a lot of sprucing going on, there's not a decoration, and so it's nice to just kind of see a little extra flair out there. Things just kind of look more appealing and are prettier.
It's like it's nice when time gets to exist.
Yeah.
But, there's actually some people are on the same page, this kind of shared cultural tradition. I mean, we're just describing tradition, right? But it's like we're so starved for this kind of stuff, and like I don't know, yeah, just having people on the same page about shit, as opposed to just having like everybody with their fucking fenced yards.
Yeah.
Their little isolated little kingdoms from each other.
Yeah, it feels like people try to give a shit during the holidays,
Yeah, and I've also noticed. I mean, and this is so contingent on just the type of people that I'm around. So, I don't know if this is accurate for very many people at all, but I'm also noticing I'm just not really encountering a lot of like anti-Christmas contrarian edginess.
No.
It seems like that's subsided a little bit. I mean, I think that just has been diffused across the entire year, and it's just towards like white people all the time or something now. But
yeah, I think it's also kind of like it's kind of run its course. Not run its course, but it's like I don't know. That's tiresome now, dude. Like
it's also tiresome.
Yeah, it's super tiresome, and it's like I don't know what the fuck, dude. People like being happy, eating good food, being together with their loved ones, and giving each other love and gifts. What's bad about that? If you don't like that, get fucked. Respectfully, but
respectfully, get fucked. Yeah, no, for real, and I think I don't know. Maybe people are like a little bit less into this idea of just like, oh, fuck these occasions of getting together after like we had 3 fucking years of just isolation.
It feels like a long extended breath out. Like it feels like there's been 2 or 3 holidays seasons now because of COVID where people weren't going home, or people were terrified of going home because they would get sick, or they were fighting with their family about who's vaccinated and who's not, like you were saying with all these psyops. And this is specifically over the last 3 years. Before that, there was political psyops and stuff, but not so much like you can't fly, you can't travel, everyone's isolated. And so I think everyone's kind of feeling like this is our first holiday season on the other side of COVID, for the most part. And
Well,
everyone
depends
just
on
kind of
who you
needs it.
ask, right?
Yeah, definitely. But as far as like regulations, I guess go, like they're not putting out, PSAs, don't go home to your family, do Thanksgiving apart or anything like they were.
Yeah.
And so I think everyone's kind of feeling like, you know what, this is like the celebration at the end of a long, long struggle, in a way, and I know it's not over or anything, but it just kind of feels that way. And I think that's kind of what winter holidays and the festivities are about in the first place.
Mhm.
I mean, not specifically Christmas, but like in general, winter holidays and festivities are a lot about the end of the year, the end of the cycle, start of a new cycle. The winter solstice is coming up. It's the darkest night of the year, the shortest day, and then days start to grow longer after that. You can
Dude, it's
start getting,
straight up about fucking pooling resources and
yeah.
coming together for the fucking cold time, and
Hmm.
like physically and metaphysically.
Yeah, and it's like let's just get together, and let's just try to celebrate, like, and think back on what we had, and look forward with hope into the like the new year, the new
Mhm.
season's coming. And I think that that's really needed right now after all of this. And so I think it's kind of really soaking in a lot of people to a lot of different, you know, walks of life or different ideological beliefs or whatever. I think everyone's kind of feeling it.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, totally. I'm digging it a lot. I'm like, I don't know if I'm fully on the page of like watching fucking Christmas movies right now or anything, but I'm listening to the tunes.
Nice.
I'm feeling it. It kind of sucks working through this time of year,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, if you do retail or anything like that, that's what sucks about like this type of year. It can be a little bit of a bummer. It gets busier, which sucks. Obviously, when your work is busier, it's less enjoyable usually. People are a little bit more high strung because, like, there's a lot of stress involved with the holidays, the way that we do them in America, because they're kind of like big productions. People are having their family over. They got to create things. They got to give things to them. They've got to make foods. They got to plan. And so people can be a little stressed. And I think that where that really comes out is interactions with strangers, passing interactions. And so when you're at a retail store or you're at a restaurant or you're at like somewhere, a resort or whatever that's open throughout the holiday season, that's when it can be testy. And as a worker, it really sucks. I remember when I was working at a resort in Colorado, working over Christmas and New Year's and Christmas Eve and Thanksgiving every single year for a number of years. And some of the worst interactions I had with guests were on those days. And the thing about it was, those were the days I saw the least amount of people too. But people would come in and they were either stressed or they would be frustrated, or people also have a hard time in the holidays. Strangers, you don't know, they might have lost their family or recently lost a loved one or whatever, and so holidays can be hard for people in that way. And so it's just a conglomeration of different things, and it can be hard to work for sure in this time of year, with the public at least.
yeah, yeah. I've got a few shifts a week at a part time retail gig right now, and it's challenging.
Yeah.
It's definitely challenging. It makes me appreciate the other stuff I do, and that I'm not just all eggs in one basket, because it's like, because I've been there.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's tough, man. I think I mean, it's just it's the whole just fucking human vending machine
Yeah,
perspective,
definitely.
and that sucks. And then you're just working with a lot of fucking volume, dude. I'll show up and holy shit, like it's you're just a fucking doing an assembly line.
Yeah, bro.
So that's you know
I think that's where a lot of people get frustrated with like Christmas music, is people who work in retail locations,
That's
or
the big thing. Yeah,
yeah,
I'll always be patient with somebody who doesn't like Christmas music if it's because they're fucking locked in a box for 8 hours a day, forced to listen to the same 10 songs over and over.
yeah, for
I
sure.
think I think that that's a fair exception to cut out there.
See, for me personally, I love Christmas music. It's one of my favorite. I like everything with the holidays. I like everything with Christmas in general. I've got like almost a childlike a love and appreciation and excitement for the holiday season. But as far as Christmas music goes, I really like it because like it's really one of the only times you really get to see like jazz harmonies and that type of song structure in like the radio or in public these days in the modern era. And so it's kind of nice. You get a little bit of jazz here and there, and it's a little refreshing. It's a change of pace.
I think jazz Christmas tunes are quite classy for sure.
Definitely. And then it makes me the whole season kind of makes me think about jazz, but usually kind of like a smooth, soft jazz, which is a little different than what I'm usually listening to. So it's just kind of a nice change of pace. And yeah, man, I don't know. I think there's a lot of this time of year is just like a significant time of the year because it's the end of cycles and starting of new ones. And so I think it's just all lovely. I can't get over enough. I've been watching Christmas movies. I have a list of them. I know you said that you haven't been on that, but I've been knocking through them. I watched Elf. I'm going to watch Christmas Vacation here soon.
Elf's a banger. Christmas Vacation, also a banger.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I've been working through. I've been baking a good bit. Doing some Christmas baking. I made some like Oreo white chocolate peppermint kind of ball situations. They're pretty fire. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a good time. It's a good excuse to like eat more than you should, be a little bit gluttonous. Yeah, I just kind of like it.
Oh yeah, dude.
I'm thinking I'll probably go to a nice Christmas service this year for the first time in a number of years too.
Oh no shit, yeah.
Yeah. So that'll be big and nice for me. So yeah, kind of embracing this Christmas season a little bit more than usual, which is saying a lot for me. So
sure, yeah. I mean, this will be our second year doing the attendance and all that. Last night we did the mass for the feast day of the Immaculate Conception, and that was cool. I really didn't, dude. I had a fucking bitch of a day yesterday. Just like, it's my weekend right now because I have one of those fucking millennial weekend, right, where it's like it's not Saturday, Sunday, which it's always been the case for me, and I actually kind of like it in a way because if I need to go anywhere, it's not super busy.
And you can knock shit out. Like if you have an off day on days when, like if your off days are Saturday, Sunday, some places are closed that you need to go to, like the car shop or the DMV or whatever.
Totally. Though, I mean, it sucks that I have to it sucks that you have to do shit on your day off, right?
Yeah.
But no, dude, I'm just like fucking busting my ass. That's actually why I fucking rescheduled, right? It's because it's like, god damn, there's like so much to do. And then that ended up actually being perfect because then it was like all of this shit happened and then it would have conflicted with church. But yeah, I just like totally didn't want to go, and we did it and we showed up and it was great. It was like a really great service. And then when you're like heading home, you're just like, oh man, I'm actually really glad that I did that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, many such cases there. So yeah, it's good shit. I think we did midnight mass last year and we're going to do the same thing this year.
Nice. Yeah. That's what I was thinking I'll do.
Yeah. It's a good time, dude. It's a good time. I had family coming in for Christmas, or sorry, family coming in from out of town for Thanksgiving, the other one. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of, it's like you get one or the other. You don't get both.
Yeah.
And so Christmas is going to be like a lot more low key.
Nice.
And I'm kind of looking forward to that, man. So church stuff, and honestly, dude, it's the same thing like what we were talking about of like everybody's doing the holiday stuff, and it feels like time is real, and it feels like everybody's kind of on the same page, like one side of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, church just like gives you that feeling all the time.
Yeah.
Especially these fucking Catholics, man, are just all about. They've just invented holidays. Like every day of the year is a holiday, depending on how esoteric you get with it. And it rocks. So that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, the
yeah,
holidays are a way to bring like tradition and ritual into everyone's day-to-day life, even if you're not someone who is very pious or religious. Um,
mhm.
and so I think that's like you're saying, it makes time real. I think that's a really significant part about it because we do lose a lot of tethering to time and otherwise, and we don't really have a lot of celebration of seasons or anything like that, or the passing of time, other than I guess birthdays. And so I think that yeah, holidays are great for that. And like you said, like church, especially the Catholics, was having different holidays on different days and a little bit more of a rigorous liturgical life and a little bit
Yep.
more rigorous schedule as far as masses to attend and stuff. That also builds in kind of thresholds for time to pass through. And so I think that's something that is significant and important about our religious life as well.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, 100%.
Shit.
100%.
All right. Well, I guess we've touched on our holiday love a little bit. I guess last thing would be: are there any particular holiday traditions that you and your family have had that you enjoy that you carry on outside of mass or anything like that?
Well, it's funny just because like my family is kind of culturally bourgeois,
Sure.
and I was raised pretty secular, so I don't have any of that shit. And then the woman was raised Catholic,
Oh, okay. So she's
but
bringing some into your life a little bit, maybe.
yeah, a little bit. Though to be fair, I have kind of been the driving force with it.
Mm.
But like the case with like cradle Catholics, they do it all, and I don't really have the right to criticize anybody about their like religious, bona fides, but
Sure.
but I think a lot of it sometimes just kind of going through the motions a little bit.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I mean nothing, at least from my side of it, no real traditions really.
So you excited to start building some new ones with your fiance and building
That's
some for yourself going forward?
Yeah, that's exactly it. That's exactly it.
Nice, man.
So I'm pretty stoked on it, and it just makes it more rewarding. I remember being a little kid, and I mean, listen, like this is normal little kid shit, so like I don't want to deny that,
Mm-hmm.
but I remember like being a little kid and just being like, yeah, I mean, Christmas is just the day that you get a bunch of shit. It's basically like the one day of like shopping almost for
Yeah.
for children a year or something.
Mm-hmm.
And like I don't really want that to be the case for my children.
Definitely.
Don't want that to be the case for my children. And it's just cool when you can actually like emphasize the more meaningful components of it, and I
Mm-hmm.
mean just the whole aspect of like winter holidays, like I was saying, like it's about like it's fucking cold and it's dark and the fucking crops aren't coming up this time of year, and so you're just like pooling resources and coming together and getting some warmth like fucking huddled penguins.
Mm-hmm.
And
Making your own light. Mm-hmm.
yeah, exactly. And it's just kind of one of these things of like, like lean into that, and like don't do the shitty thing of being like, oh, like this dumb hokey, you know, trite positivity is stupid. It's like, no, like you can use a little bit of that,
Mm-hmm.
especially because like, it's just everything in our culture is just like eschatology and fucking
Yeah.
misery. um, you can use a little bit of
Yeah, I
the
mean,
in your flame a little.
even if you're not feeling it, I mean, it's sometimes good to just try to be happy and put on a cheery self because, like, eventually muscle memory, you know what I mean? Like you're saying, we get trapped in this eschatology nonstop and this, like, just terror stuff, doom scrolling and reading and getting overloaded with just a deluge of horrible stuff. And I think that, and everyone sulks, everyone's depressed or anxious or worried or whatever. And that's because, a lot of the times we're conditioned to be that way. And I think that you can condition yourself to live another way as well. And I think that, um, you know, making conscious efforts to experience joy or to be cheery, even when you don't necessarily feel that way, is a good way to start turning that tide.
Dude, for sure. It honestly kind of reminds me of that meme that's like a few years old now of just like it's some fucking 4chan green text thing of just like, I'm a fucking depressed piece of shit, and then one day I just like decide to stop being depressed,
Yeah.
and then just it fucking works.
Yeah.
And like there's a little bit of truth to that, like I think I mean, barring like the possibility that you're just like, fucking totally you're actually one of these like, chemical imbalance people, which are significantly rarer than we actually think they are.
Yeah.
Um
And it's coming from a place too. Like, you know what I mean? Most of the time, it's not like you were born out of the womb with your brain unable to make a certain level of X chemical. It's typically because, like, there are lifestyle factors and things that you're not getting, etc., that are leading to your brain only producing X amount, rather than it being like something that's physically a defect.
Dude, totally. And so it's like it's stuff that exists outside of you, and if you just start, kind of lining that stuff up,
Mm-hmm.
and just, I mean, you're just describing fucking fake it till you make it, right? But
Pretty
it's
much,
yeah. But it's good shit.
Yeah, that's real actually. Like that's one thing. Like, I think one thing we're losing as we progress into modernity, and as generations continue to go on, and old people die off and young people grow older, is that we're losing like day-to-day niceties, and like manners and that kind of thing, because people just don't see the importance in them, because you're like, well, I don't actually feel that way, so why should I do this thing? Like, why should I ask the person at the store how their day is going or whatever? I don't actually want to hear. I just want to hear them say good, and then me say, okay, good, me too, vice versa. So people just stop doing those things. But I think that those things are important in life. Like I think those day-to-day rituals, like even like that community rituals of just engagement, and I think that kind of builds avenues. It builds through ways that then can be strengthened. And I think the same thing goes with your own individual, like being happy and trying to be cheerful to those around you. Once you kind of build those avenues, you can go back and you can lay better foundations, and eventually as you walk the path over and over again, that's going to be the path you're taking going forward. So I think it's good to have those things, to be kind to those around you, to try to be merry. And I think that Christmas and stuff like that emphasizes that for the first time, I feel like, at a pretty culturally omnipresent level. Like pretty much everyone in the country is maybe not celebrating Christmas, but some winter holiday where they're trying to be cheery and give and feel love. And I think that that's great. And I'd like to see if we could build those types of things in our day-to-day lives, Christmas all year round kind of thing, of course, which is really the core spirit of the whole holiday. But I'll take what I can get.
Absolutely. Fucking fake it till you make it is based, actually. And fucking the holidays rock, and it only took us getting fucking locked in our houses for 3 years and fucking brainwashed to finally appreciate that maybe it's not so bad to fucking eat some snacks with your loved ones and give each other gifts, dude.
Okay, this is a quick aside, but based on what you're saying there, that reminds me of this movie I watched over Thanksgiving called Pilgrim. And it's like, it's meant to be a scary movie. I think Hulu made it or something with Blumhouse. They were doing like a scary holidays thing a few years ago. But anyways, it's called Pilgrim. It's a Thanksgiving movie, and these like pilgrim reenactors come over to this family's house. And essentially, like, you could probably figure out what goes on just in your head, but it goes poorly. It goes awry. And the whole thing is like them like terrorizing this family in order to make them grateful for what they had that they didn't appreciate in the first place. But that's kind of what just happened to us over the past couple years.
Totally, man. Oh man, dude, I've been watching more flicks lately.
Nice.
I'm definitely into movies, as you know, but I've kind of fallen out with them a little bit. And I think, dude, honestly, I think one just big thing, and this is a pretty normal thing, I think, is like my fiance just isn't that into movies, and so when the person you're just like kicking it with 99% of the time is not into something, you kind of don't do it as often.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, man. I mean, I watched Pig recently.
Oh yeah, dude.
Dude, did you ever see that?
Yeah, I watched that. Nicolas Cage.
Dude, that's a really beautiful film.
Definitely.
I really liked that movie, man. I was really taken by surprise by that. I thought it was going to be sad, and it is really sad. But it's not like mean sad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's movies that are mean sad. Another movie I saw that was mean sad. I saw Bones and All, this like Timothy Chalamet movie about eating people.
Oh.
It was good. It was good. All right, it was good. But goddamn, that movie was just a fucking downer.
Sounds like it, dude. People eating folks.
Dude, people eating folks. Timothy Chalamet. I've never seen the guy smile.
No.
And I mean, the guy's. You know, it's kind of one of those funny examples, right? Where you're like, all right, like this guy's the actor equivalent of like a fucking boy band.
Yeah, definitely.
But like the guy's a good actor as much as I might not want to admit it.
He's in that one movie. I think it's called The King or The Prince or fuck.
Yeah, I think it's The King.
The King. That movie is pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, that movie's pretty with Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
Dude, he's got a whack ass haircut in that movie.
Yeah, it looks crazy.
Dude, he'd be looking crazy with that.
Holy shit.
Yeah, dude, and then I started watching. I'm like super late to this, but I put this morning just for whatever fucking reason. I just put on that Marilyn Monroe biopic, Blonde, that came out like months ago that people were like talking about a bunch.
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet.
Dude, that shit's really fucking good, man. It's like, I mean, okay, I'm saying this and I'll probably never finish it because it's 2 hours and 49 minutes.
Oh,
and
wow.
Like, I love movies. I don't know if I love movies that much to get through this, but it's really good. I mean, it's just like vicious. Like it's just only sad shit happening over and over and over and over again, which you know, it's like a type of movie. But yeah, it's funny, man. I'm not really going anywhere with this, but dude, it's just nice watching movies. Maybe I'll watch a little bit more of Blonde. That's this Monroe flick, and then get on your page and just start watching some fucking Christmas movies. I saw they made a fucking sequel to A Christmas Story, which just looks like an absolute fucking demonic possession.
Yeah, I will not watch that.
No,
I'm not watching any new bullshit like that, dude.
No, fuck no, dude. But it's like it's gonna be like the exact same movie, the way that like all sequels are these days, except like it's just gonna have like one scene of Ralphie being like, "Say Black Lives Matter," and then other than that, it's just the exact same movie, or it's the exact same movie, but they've just like added like a black woman into it.
Yeah, she's like a school teacher or something that just like supports him.
Yeah, exactly. She's like a social worker that like explains to him how he's like doing a no growth.
Yeah.
And then other than that, it's the exact same movie, except for like the Chinese restaurant jokes. Those need to go.
Fuck, dude. Now I'm thinking about last year we watched the Jingle All the Way, and we did that movie episode.
Jingle All the Way. Oh yeah, dude, I fucking remember that. That movie holds up.
Yeah, fuck yeah, it does, dude. Sinbad.
Dude. Also, straight up prayers for Sinbad, because apparently he had like a huge stroke.
Oh no shit.
He's like learning to walk again.
Oh man. All right. Quick prayer line for Sinbad. All right, fellas.
Yeah, dude. Get on it. Get well soon, King.
Man, dude, I didn't know that.
Yeah, man.
Dude,
man.
But
honestly, I would have taken if it was gonna be either if it was like a toss up between the two of them. You have Arnold get the stroke, man. I mean like Sinbad hasn't done anything wrong. Sinbad's not out here making fucking propaganda videos for the state.
Arnold almost looks post-stroke though. Like he has that kind of look to him already.
Dude, straight up, when you get it like past a certain point of bodybuilding, you kind of like it's kind of like a self-imposed stroke out a little bit. Like you look a little bit stroked out. Shotty's a little bit palsied up at the very least.
A little quirked up.
A little quirked up, dude.
Holy shit. Man, what a fucking crazy character Arnold Schwarzenegger is, dude. Austrian immigrant, just like obsessed with like men's physique and bodybuilding, goes on to become an actor and then the fucking governor of California. Wild timeline for him.
Honestly, like when you put it like that, Arnold Schwarzenegger just sounds like a psyop person.
Yeah, he's either
like
a psyop or like the most like driven individual of all time.
Totally. Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't trust Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I mean,
I have to trust. I have to respect though. Just the like a man whose last name tricks everyone into saying the N-word all the time deserves like a little bit of respect.
Yes.
But yeah, man, the guy. Well, I mean, I remember when I was like growing up, there was the whole his like mistress stuff and like all of that.
Oh,
like,
a bit of a checkered past.
Oh, a bit of a checkered past. He's like, I mean, isn't it like a rite of passage for like sickos, like famous sickos in California? It's like you either there's a fork in the road, right? As like a famous person in Southern California, you either like fuck children or you like fuck your Mexican housekeeper.
Yeah.
And he went the latter. I guess.
And the end of both of those roads is become governor.
Yeah, no, exactly. The end of both roads is like entering the formal structures of American politics. For sure, dude. I think, yeah, it's like what, like the Democrats are the children, and then like country club WASP Republicans are the housemaid. Are the housemaid. As Jeb Bush, you know.
Yeah. Oh shit. I guess we could we got a little bit of a lull here. We could switch topics quick into the man of the hour. Kanye.
Oh, yay?
Yay.
I actually don't like saying yay.
Nazier.
Nazier. Okay, all right. I mean, where did it even begin? You know, I mean, like, I think that. All right, I think that there's no way of talking about Kanye without literally me just bullshitting what I'm saying as I'm saying it. But I think that Kanye is doing a service for all of us right now.
Speaking the truth.
He is, well, I didn't say that, right? But I think that Kanye is taking into his body just all of, and we'll see if he can literally physically handle this in his mortal form. He's embodying the dialectic right now, right? He's holding it all at once in his physical form right now, and he is. By the end of this, I don't know if Kanye is going to live through it, but by the end of it, we're going to have some synthesis and some next phase between the dynamic of sincerity and irony.
Yeah.
And we're gonna reach a new form, and I hope that we can just get a new kind of, I almost said new sincerity, but that's a thing. But a new sincerity, like you know, because it's like something's got to give, you know, like I don't know. I pray for him right now. I'm, you know, I have all the sympathies in the world for Alex Jones.
Dude, oh my god, bro. Man, okay, so I didn't see like the whole interview or anything like that. I've just seen a couple of clips that have been either sent to me or like filtered their way onto my Facebook timeline or whatever. But dude, that shit's crazy. It looks like it's like he's having Kanye on. He's like, yeah, let's hear Kanye out. You know, he's gonna come on and this man's being persecuted. And Alex Jones starts very, you know, personably, and it's just like, you know, they shouldn't be calling you a Nazi and hating you and all this much and stuff. You're not a Nazi. You're not Hitler. You're not this and that. You shouldn't get this much hate. And he's like trying to be sympathetic to him. And then Kanye's response is just, I like Hitler.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Dude, what
Well,
the fuck?
the funniest part is that after that he kind of rides the line a little bit, and he's like, I think that everybody has their value, and I don't like labels, and everybody has done good things, and you're like, oh, okay, right. So like I kind of get what maybe he's saving it a little bit, and he's just like, I just don't want to dehumanize Nazis, right? Because no one is one thing, and it's like, okay, like I kind of get where he's going. And he's like, everyone has done good things, and I don't want to deny that everyone's done good things, especially Adolf Hitler. And you're like, hey, Kanye, you son of a bitch, you absolute like when I heard that, I kind of felt like he kind of knew what he was doing a little bit.
Dude, it's like a stand-up cadence. It's like he workshopped that, bro.
I don't know, man. I mean, it's just weird, dude. I like he's sitting there. He's sitting there, and he's got a bug catching net, and he's got a bottle of Yoo-hoo, because he's talking about Benjamin Netanyahu, right?
Oh.
And he's talking about Benjamin Netanyahu wants to have me killed. Like, which again,
probably
like,
not wrong, honestly.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not gonna have fucking sympathy for fucking Benjamin Netanyahu, but I think he'll be fine.
No, but I'm saying I wouldn't be surprised if he like legitimate. I don't know what he's up to. Nothing good, probably. So if Kanye's coming out here and doing all this,
shooting kids or something.
Yeah, I mean, probably something twisted, but he's definitely killing Palestinian kids. We know about that for sure.
Yeah,
so
we already know.
I mean, dude, if Kanye comes out talking mad game, Netanyahu's like, pull up. You know what I mean? He's like,
pull up, dude. Netanyahu. What was it with wasn't it like a year and a half ago? Like that Kaz guy was just like telling people to like show up and fight him, and it's like Netanyahu just being on the timeline, just being like, dude, let's square up, Kanye, let's go. Like Netanyahu is just like streaming from his phone on Twitch in the parking lot of a 7-Eleven in Gaza. Like, dude, didn't show up. He didn't show up.
Bitch made,
dude.
Yeah, I don't know, bro. Kanye, man, that whole thing's kind of surreal. Him going on to Alex Jones and everything, like, that makes sense, obviously. Like, if I was Alex Jones, I would want to get Kanye on in that moment. Like, it's...
Dude, if I was me, I mean,
yeah.
I would... If Kanye wanted to come on here, I would obviously have him on.
Yeah, Kanye, come on. Let's go.
Yeah.
We'll hear you out. I mean, I don't necessarily agree with you, but I'll hear you. So yeah, anyways, but I see why you'd have him on, and I see what Alex Jones is trying to do. And really, I think this whole situation, not even looking at anything with Kanye, I think it really humanizes Alex Jones a lot for a lot of people, which I think is good.
I love the priority of just like, listen, man, glass half full. Like, this is a W for Alex Jones for sure.
For real though, because Alex Jones is almost like in tears at the end of it. He's like, dude, I don't like Nazis. I hate German. I hate Germans. I love Germany. I love Germans. My family's German. He ruined that shit for us. He killed so many Germans. He's like, man, what the fuck? Like, Alex Jones comes off clearly there as a man who just like loves people in America and like his neighbors and his family, and it's just because he obviously does, and he's just like trying to find a way out of it, and like where you're juxtaposed with Kanye over here, who's just like literally like lunatic, like, you know what I mean?
For sure.
So I think that's a good look for Alex Jones, and then to focus on Kanye, I don't know what he's wearing. First of all, he's gone, like, his fashion stuff is a little, like, it's just nuts.
Fucking retarded. It's fucking stupid as fuck.
Yeah, it's never looked good.
He looks like a fucking clown, dude.
Yeah, that's not a good indication of where his head's at, you know? And then, you know, he's wearing a mask over his face, but everyone knows it's him. You know,
I don't really know what the deal is with that. Just straight up, man, Kanye's annoying.
Yeah, bro.
Kanye's annoying. This whole thing is fucking annoying. Mm-hmm. And like, I think that we have said this like every fucking time
he comes up. Yeah.
yeah, that he comes up is like he's annoying and like we like should make sure we're not talking about this too much, right?
Yeah.
But again, like maybe like that dynamic right there is probably like the big. It's kind of like proving the whole point, right? Which is like you literally can't avoid talking about it because he's straight up just a Nazi now.
Yeah, and it's like, crazy because it's fucking Kanye West, bro.
It is crazy. Here, hold up really fast. I'm like putting it off to the last minute. Pause it really fast. I have to shit so bad, dude. I don't know why I hold it. Give me one second.
All right, so we're back. I think we were still talking about Kanye. We don't have to spend too much more time on that,
though. it'll just be like the last thing we talk. It'll just be the rest of the episode.
Yeah, it'll just be the next hour and a half.
Yeah, I mean, it's just what I was saying, right? Like, it's fucking. I don't know. The guy this is nothing new, but like the guy just like figures out how to game the media environment to make it so that you like have to fucking talk about him. It's like Trump, right? And this isn't news, like this is fucking 2016 shit, but it's just interesting, right? Because I mean it's like he's going full on doing the stuff. So I think it's funny. I think one thing that's really funny about it that I really appreciate is I like how conflicted it's making right wingers because like on one hand you have like the super anti-Semitic right wingers, and that's like distasteful for obvious reasons. And then on the other hand, you have like the establishment conservatives that are like basically owned by Jewish people, and you know they're basically worse. Not probably just because they're the people calling the fucking shots, and so I kind of like seeing the division that this creates, like him walking out on Tim Pool. I don't know if you saw that. You probably did.
Mm-mm.
Oh yeah, he like went on Tim Pool's podcast, and he went on Tim Pool's podcast, and he like wanted to talk about the Jews, and then and then Tim Pool was like, oh, like I don't know.
Let's probably not do that.
Yeah, and Tim Pool's a fucking normie, right? And I would absolutely categorize him in that more establishment camp.
Yeah.
For sure, right? And then Kanye just like got up and walked out, right? In the middle of this.
Wow. In
the middle of this thing. And again, it's just like I kind of like watching these people squirm a little bit.
It's creating a good riff there for sure.
Yeah, it's like again, like anti-Semitism on the right. I'm not terribly fond of it. That faction of the right is so obviously preferable to the business as usual neocons, if you want to call them that like it's like fuck it, dude. Just like I like the upset he's causing. That's kind of cool, but that's kind of like I don't know.
Yeah, I think a couple of things I was thinking. I think that Kanye is just obviously like I think he's just like real ego inflated, which is obviously not a novel take. And I think that kind of just leads him to do kind of irrational things. And I think that especially in moments where he feels like he's under attack, I think it's obvious to draw a through line to see, his family's turned against him. Kim Kardashian had left him, all this and that and the other, and trying to get his kids involved in all this crazy Hollywood shit he didn't want to be involved in, and then everyone kind of turned on him that way. And so I think he's probably thinking back against the wall kind of mentality, and then he may have said a couple of things, and then people start thinking the worst about him, and then he's like, you know what, fuck it, yeah, I am a Nazi, that shit's tight. Or whatever. I think that's
that
part
shit's
of it.
Fucking tight.
I think it's just one of those things where it's like, you call me this enough, I'm gonna embrace it. Fuck it. And I think also maybe he's just kind of like, I don't think the dude knows what's going on really, what he's doing. I think it's like you were saying, what he does is almost like a big ongoing art performance, and no one really knows when it's going to end or what's going on, not even him, and everyone's just kind of a part of it. And I think that's pretty apparent by the fact that after this big Alex Jones thing that kind of blew up everywhere, he released a song through Alex Jones, and then on his own stuff as well, where he's basically just rapping about like his controversies he's gotten himself into over a beat and stuff like that. And at the very end, it's just like an audio clip that's distorted of him being like talking about Hitler, like liking Hitler or something crazy. So it's like, is he doing it to sell more records? Is he just fully crazy? Who fucking knows? I do think there was one funny thing. I mean, several funny things, but one that really tickled my fancy that came out of the interview and I saw a clip of. And it's involving, man, fuck, I just forgot his name. Ben Shapiro. It's involving Ben Shapiro.
Oh my god, I have to say his line about Ben Shapiro is funny. Like that's
funny.
That's the kind of thing an old man would say.
Yes. Okay, so he just sits down and pulls out like his phone, where I guess he's got a list of things. I don't know if people sent these to him.
Oh, he's got his list all right.
He's checking it twice like Santa. But yeah, he's got some list of maybe like he's in a Discord or something. They're like workshopping jokes, or I don't know, but he kind of rattles them off, and one of them
he's talking to Ren in there.
Ren and Vom. Anyway, so he gets to one, and he goes, Ben Shapiro can tell the amount of change in your pocket just by hearing it jingle. And that shit had me burst out laughing, and I thought it was good.
That's a granddad thing to say.
Yeah.
That's a granddad thing to say.
And it's good that it's against Ben Shapiro, because it's one of those things. It's like everyone generally kind of hates Ben Shapiro, because like, dude, fucking he's a twerp, dude. Yeah,
he is a fucking twerp, dude. That's the word for it, 100%.
It's like, what the hell? So it's funny because it's like he's taking shots at someone that no one really likes, but like some people are gonna feel obligated to back him up just because the content of the joke is slightly anti-Semitic,
right? And
so it creates a funny little kind of corner for people to get back into there. But yeah, I think overall, I think it's kind of funny. I think it's a little. I feel sad for Alex Jones. I feel sad for Kanye. I think that man just is kind of lost it a little bit. I hope he can get a good grip on himself and like not spiral if that's what's happening. And if he's planning it, then I don't know. Whatever, I guess. And then as far as Alex Jones, though, just God bless him, really.
Oh, totally. This is actually a good. This is actually a good transition here.
Nice.
Because we're talking about Kanye, we're talking about his ex-wife, right? And I think I think Kim's got a certain thing going on here with Balenciaga, right? And we haven't talked about Balenciaga yet.
I don't know. Okay, whoa.
I
don't know anything about this. I've seen one person talk about it, and I didn't. It was just completely out of context, and I was like, I don't fucking know what that is. So, pill me on the Balenciaga scandal or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, so this is perfect then. Yeah, so I mean, so what is it? So basically, I'm distracting myself. There was this shoot that they did, and actually it was Shoe on Head that kind of blew this up on Twitter.
Really?
Yeah. So there was this shoot that they did. I forget what you call it, but like a series, like a shoot that they're an Italian fashion company, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And they did a shoot that was a couple of pictures featuring children holding teddy bears, and the teddy bears were wearing BDSM clothes, right?
What?
And then this is an important distinction here, because this got lost in the shuffle a little bit. this is people are claiming that this additional detail was in the same picture, but it's not. It's not. It was on the website at the same time, and I believe they generally just scrub all of their online stuff whenever like a new series comes out, a new installment. So I don't know if it was part of the same shoot, but I like am pretty sure it was. Even then, like that's kind of like grasping at straws here. There was another picture they had of a shoot in which that was on the website at the same time, in which there's a desk, and on the desk was one of their handbags, and the handbag is on top of a document, a legal document that's outlining a case for the illegalization, whatever, of child pornography. They like had this in the frame.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
A case for the illegalization of like they're trying to make
it's like fuck. I'm not the best. It's like the law against the law against spreading child pornography, right? So like it was some court document talking about, I think it was European, right? I think it was European. So it's like the specific law and case pertaining to child pornography, and it was this document about this.
Why the fuck would that be in the background of a fucking fashion shoot?
Fashion shoot, right? And then this is, like I said, I don't know if this is part of the same photography installation or series or whatever that they were doing. But again, it was on their website, and they don't really keep stuff on there all that long. So it's probably safe to say that it was.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So and so then, and again, I'm gonna do the thing where I'm gonna do the well actuallys ahead of time here.
Sure.
And so then everybody's like, Balenciaga deletes their Twitter account like an hour after this blows up. Right now, that's pretty suspicious.
Yeah.
But then all their other social media accounts, they delete everything on them. Well, I don't really find that particularly suspicious because, again, they wash the slate clean pretty consistently whenever they're going to release something. So there's a case to be made there. It's not like they're like running scared or anything, but they've since apologized for this. But yeah. So that happened, and Kim, as we all know, household knowledge, does modeling stuff with them. I think with her children too. So I mean, it's a little bit of a tragic backstory for Kanye's current villainy.
Sure.
Like there's something there.
I mean, dude, he's definitely 100% for a while, a couple years ago, like he had a tirade where he was tweeting a bunch of stuff, and then after like he didn't tweet for a while, and then he came back and it was all deleted. But he was like talking about Kim wants my kids doing porno. Kim wants to have my kids on Playboy. Kim wants to have he was talking about shit like that, which I'm sure probably some of that's like exaggeration, but I'm sure it's rooted in like she's definitely. I bet she has her kids doing crazy shit and like wants to do all sorts of shit he didn't want to do. Wants to get involved with all sorts of Hollywood nasty crazy shit. He was probably like, man, what the fuck about? Because as crazy as the dude is, and I'm sure he's nuts. I mean, he's pretty adamant that he's a Christian, that he has certain values, and I imagine they conflicted with the values of the Kardashians in that way. And I think that probably led to a whole lot of just antagonization within that community against him, and him probably just feeling like everyone's against him. And then when you're in a position like that, it's easy to get sold, a false bill of goods for explaining why that's happening. Or, it's easy to try to start making leaps and bounds that may not actually add up there. So for him to be on the stuff he's on now is not really shocking. It's just it's nuts because you'd think that he would have a little bit better sense of handling himself in the limelight, as far as you can't just be a Nazi. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Yeah, I don't.
But I didn't know
Yeah,
anything about this Balenciaga shit. That's crazy. I don't know, dude.
yeah. I mean, this is. I mean, and yeah, I mean, I think the important thing to. I mean, and you'll know, you'll get what I mean. Like the important thing also to emphasize is like this was something that like got to the point where like it has been and it continues to be uh like talked about and acknowledged in like mainstream news. I mean, so it's one of these things where it's like, oh, like you can't just it clearly demonstrates that it's not just, it can't really just be like totally swept under the rug.
Yeah.
It's not, this wasn't just one of these like, oh hey, crazy QAnon people things. It's like, no, like, you know, it's a thing that's being talked about. Yeah, so that's,
Man, what the fuck, dude? These people are fucking sick, bro.
yeah. I mean, it's classic. These people are sick.
What the hell? I saw
Yeah.
something. People are getting riled up around, like maybe around, I don't know, Halloween or something. A few months ago, some other Italian photo shoot, some fashion thing, some Italian guy. I don't know what the company was, but it was like Heidi Klum or some actress and her daughter, and they were posing all risque like together, and it was like people were losing their mind about it. So they're up to crazy shit over there in Europe. I don't trust most Europeans like that. Like, especially if you're a fashionable European, that's a red flag pretty majorly.
Absolutely, dude. They ain't right over there.
No.
As much as we get a hard time over here in the States. Here, I'm sending a link to a picture of the thing. As much as we get shit for being like mouth breathing Americans, like, I mean, that just ain't right. Okay, to be fair, I actually want to kind of address this a little bit, going off on my own tangent here a little bit. Straight up, like, it's this cliche of being like, oh, like Europeans are really cultured and Americans are kind of lowbrow, kind of not classy, or I mean, what's the word I want to look for? You get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And like the funny thing is like, bro, Europeans are trashy as fuck, dude.
Yeah.
They like actually aren't classy at all.
No.
And they do disgusting, horrible shit like this.
Dude, what the fuck am I looking at, bro? Okay, the picture of the court document or whatever aside, what the fuck are these ads with these girls with dolls wearing fucking gimp outfits, bro?
Yeah, I mean, this is even before. So again, like I said, like, okay, all right. So all of those qualifiers I did to be like, okay, like, well, it's not in the picture, and I don't even know if it's part of the same series or whatever. Okay, all of that stuff, and the like, oh well, they probably didn't delete all their stuff because of this. All of that stuff is the, like, if you look up an article about these things, that's the only stuff that the media is addressing, because obviously their whole narrative and angle on this is just like, well,
Debunk it.
Yeah, exactly. They're in debunk mode.
Yeah. So this picture that you sent to me looks like they've issued an official apology.
Yeah, that's what I said a minute ago. They have issued an official public apology.
This is crazy right here where they say, this was a wrong choice by Balenciaga, combined with our failure in assessing and validating images. Like, what does that mean? Like, you're saying that you just didn't get a chance to look over these or something? Failure in assessing and validating images. Or like you had one bad egg that was editing. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck, bro?
Yeah, I don't. I think they officially, I think they tried to, they blamed the photographer, which is really kind of funny.
Dude, what the hell, bro?
Yeah, it's wild shit, dude. It's wild shit. These people are sick. These people are sick. Okay, no, this is a twofer.
Get used to hearing it.
Yeah, you fucking better, because this is the these people are sick example, and this is the what's the deal with this broad example.
Oh fuck, dude!
Imagine having children and like and having, you know, and putting them in a fucking deal with these fucking sickos.
Dude, imagine having children and putting them in a deal with anyone ever, bro. My kids, I'm not fucking signing them up for nothing like that, dude. If I have kids, what is that? That's fucked up, dude. They're not consenting to that. These are children. You know what I mean? Like, your child doesn't want to go and have their photo of them everywhere in the world. Same thing with fucking social media and parents putting like mad videos and pictures of their kids up online from the day they're born and then doing just everyday tasks and shit. Stop putting your damn kids online, bro. They didn't consent to that. These kids don't want to be in photo shoots with GIMP dolls. They don't know what the fuck is going on. Get them out of there. What are you doing? Bad parenting.
Bad parenting, indeed. I mean, man, I don't want to be in a photo shoot with fucking GIMP dolls, dude. I don't
even want to see those, bro. Get them away from me, dude.
I don't want GIMP dolls in anything.
No, I'd rather if they didn't exist. Get those sick freaks, cut it out. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm tired of them trying to force having weird sex on everybody, bro. Just fuck normal. Fuck normal. Love each other.
Fuck normal. Love each other. This is actually kind of another thing that's like a little bit funny is all right, so, you know, Project Veritas is fucking dorky and like a little cringe. But I like, you're familiar with that, right? Yeah. It's this guy who fucking wears, he gets the gotcha videos, right?
Yeah.
Having said that, you know, he got I think this is as of today, this fucking video of some dean of students at a school, talking about like explicitly talking about bringing people in to teach kids about queer sex and having them like interact and learn about like dildos and vibrators and pocket pussies and shit. And it's
dude, what the fuck?
Yeah, well, and the thing, and you know, the really exceptional part about it is that it's pretty outright. You know, it's pretty straightforward.
Man, dude, that's so crazy, bro. Adults shouldn't even be fucking pocket pussies, dude.
Yeah, I mean, like, you just shouldn't.
What are we doing?
Yeah, that's a good point.
What the fuck?
Yeah, man, it's troubling.
Yeah,
it's troubling.
We had we had sex ed in high school. I grew up in Alabama, right? So, pretty conservative area I grew up in. And we had sex ed in high school, but it wasn't anything like that. I mean, it was like, I don't know, 10th grade, maybe 9th grade. We had this lady that was about 78 years old come in. She was like, I love sex. Me and my husband, we still have sex. And everyone was like, gross. And then she was like, you ever heard about HPV? And everyone was like, not really. And she was like, yeah, I got it. Oh, and cervical cancer too. And everyone was like, what the fuck? And
okay.
Then it was just like,
that goes hard, dude.
Yeah, and then it was just like, be scared of STDs. And then they got out of there. Like, there was no type of like, here's how you do X thing. Here's how you use this thing. You should incorporate toys. There was none of that. It was just like, hey, if you're going to fuck out there, you know, just understand you could get this thing and you could get pregnant. And I think there's a place to have like sex education in school. I think that's probably good. But whatever they're doing in these other places, I don't think that's right. I don't think you should be teaching kids about toys and whatever the fuck, anything like that. They should get a basic understanding of like how the anatomy works, how biology works, and how reproduction works. If you want to have like sex talk with that, ask your parents. You know what I mean? That's how I think it should be. And if you don't want to ask your parents, try to figure out from your friends if they've asked their parents. I don't think that there should be some type of like state official like doing a curriculum of how to fuck and giving it to kids. That's crazy.
I mean, it's like I think the idea of sex ed is good. The only issue is just like, I don't like, I mean, you just drew attention to it, right? I'm just not really wild on the idea of like the state raising my children. And I think that people really cynically do the thing where they do a little quick sleight of hand and act like the state, like the bourgeois state, is synonymous with community.
Yeah.
And it's not. you know, it does take a village, right? But I think the government is not a fucking village, dude.
Yeah.
And so I have some serious, you know, concerns about that. You know, having said that though, right? I don't know fully, right? But I do know that like you can acknowledge, right, that like teaching kids, we could even say like teaching kids in of an appropriate age, fucking high school or something, how to put a fucking condom on a banana,
Mm-hmm.
right? I can be sold on like the usefulness of that, right?
Sure.
I get that, right? And I'm sure that there's like a bunch of fucking data cells that'll be like, well, you know, it's gonna reduce all these unwanted pregnancies by this much, and that's good, right? That's good, right?
But does really though? Just quick aside. Does
Sure.
some person coming to your school and doing sex ed and saying this is how you put a condom on a banana? Does that really lead to an increase in people using contraceptives and like wearing condoms? Because like to me, it's you know how to put a condom on already. You don't need to see a lady or someone put it on a banana. You know what I mean?
I'll actually push back on that a little bit. This is a kind of one of those like don't underestimate how fucking retarded people are.
Yeah, I guess
a lot of people fucking don't, dude. A lot of people fucking dude. When I was a fucking teenager, I literally didn't know how to put a condom on.
Well, it's just two ways. You figure it out. You know what I mean? Like,
that's true. I mean, but you better hope
you're not gonna try one way and then be like, "I'm done with this." Throw it away and be like, "We're never using a condom again." You know what I mean?
No, that's a
I
good
didn't
point,
flip it
right?
over. What the fuck are we talking about?
It's true, right? It's true. But you get the point I made.
Yeah, no,
right?
I do. There's a level of curiosity there that I guess is helpful to like, you know, expose kids to that in a safe way.
Well, you know, and you feel like you know, you hear these fucking stories about you know, like young girls that are just fucking totally bleeding through their pants on their period because they just don't fucking know.
Oh yeah,
fucking told them.
And,
and you know, it's like that's fucking harmless, dude. Like you can help kids out.
Well, like reproductive health and stuff like that, I think is definitely important to learn.
Yeah, and I mean that's what sex ed is.
Yeah,
right?
I guess.
But here's where the but is, right? Is it's like, are we gonna act like there hasn't been this huge titanic escalation from going like, well, like maybe there's some basic good to come out of like no pun intended, out of like teaching kids these really basic things, right? That like again, like
I just caught that real late. My bad.
yeah, thanks. Again, like I don't really see anything all that wrong with like explaining fucking using a goddamn tampon or a maxi pad to a girl.
No, of course
not. Or you know, I don't want to go through the whole process of like of defining what my acceptable form of this is, right? But I think it's pretty fucking clear that like we can define that, and that it has nothing in common with what the current form of it is, which is this assumption. Okay, because you can't have these kids going out into the wilds and just being totally ignorant and making mistakes where adults could have you know, given them some understanding of these concepts ahead of time. It's like, sure, I agree with that. I think that there's something to that, right? This idea that concept is so vast and powerful that it also includes like, dude, if I don't have someone explain to me how to use a fucking pocket pussy, I'm about to act up and make some serious life altering mistakes. Or, you know what I mean? Like if my daughter doesn't know how to blast herself with a dildo, then she's gonna ruin her future, and she's gonna be so repressed going into her adult life. It's like, what are you talking about?
If you don't know how to safely use a pocket pussy, you might go and try to fuck a garbage disposal. Who knows?
Right. Like I don't understand how to even make the fucking argument, you know? And I think that the argument probably would be this fucking invoking this apparition of like, a history of Puritanism, and we're gonna sublimate all this sexual desire, and it's so dangerous, right? And it's so fucking, it's so vague, and it's so abstract, and ultimately it's people just making this fucking, it's just sophistry to just play and beat around the bush for just like, no, you just want to talk to fucking kids about using fucking dildos, and that's actually just morally wrong.
Yeah.
That's wrong. You shouldn't do that. And that's so completely different than fucking putting a fucking condom on a banana.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that there's plenty of fucking reactionaries that will fucking think that I'm absolutely a fraud for saying that putting a banana, to being open to the idea of the banana condom. But like, again, like, don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good.
Yeah.
We can definitely acknowledge that, just what I said. You
But
know,
I
I
feel
mean, it's just,
that's the problem, right? The problem is that, and this gets into the whole concept with the slippery slope, right? Is that, like, you say, well, we can clearly define that, like, obviously telling a girl you can wear a tampon to stop bleeding through your pants in class, and how to safely do that, is different from showing a group of kids how to use sex toys. And we can sit here and say, yeah, obviously, we got clear heads. Obviously, you need to do that. But a couple of things here. Number one, like you said to me a moment ago, people are kind of retarded. And if they couldn't figure out how to put a condom on, then they may be on the level to where they may think that those two things are synonymous. And also, they've got people twisted up so bad with this sex gender ideology nonsense that, like, new people that are young and growing up, I think a lot of people don't know what's what, like, as far as that goes, because they've been so fucking psyoped on that. It's like, well, I mean, of course, teaching kids how to play with sex toys is almost synonymous with just teaching them how to take care of their sexual health and their reproductive health. And it's like, well, no, it obviously isn't. But we can sit here and say that, but can we come together and agree on that? Is there really a clear definable line that is like, if you're stupid or not, if you're filled with stupid ideology or not, it doesn't matter. You can assess this line. Or are we just so lost in it that, like, the slippery slope thing is, if we just have sex ed in school, it's going to get to here. I don't know. That's the trickery question with all these things. Like, that's where the slippery slope thing comes into play in every scenario. And you're like, just have to make a call where you're like, I don't know. Do we just not educate people on anything ever because people could do it wrong? Or do we just try to come together and figure out sensible courses of action? And I think ideally we can do the second, and we can say, obviously it's safe to do this and not that. But I don't know.
This is just maddening to me, because it's just like no, there isn't even a substantive conversation here, unlike the give and take compromises. It's just like, this is really obviously crossing a line, and like the place where we can maybe kind of like give and take over what is and isn't appropriate exists, and I'm like willing to acknowledge that, and that's a conversation that should be had, because there's a lot of good reasons, not least of which being like, if you don't like abortion, fucking, bad Catholic alert over here, but it's just like, if you don't like abortion, like, maybe telling kids that there's a thing called contraceptive is not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Right? Things like that. But like, I dispute the basic premise that this even is a debate that's like legitimate. To be like, oh, like, maybe we can hash out where the line is regarding like dildos with kids. No, fuck you. That's insane.
Yeah.
And one of the things that's bothering me, and again, like, I really don't like the psyop that people have been tricked into, of just like, you can never have any position that's vaguely socially reactionary, because we're just so, everyone's so socially libertarian that, Jon Stewart fucked all of our brains when we were younger. And it's just like, oh no, you can't ever, the only kind of conservative you can be is, fiscally, or, right, that stupid socially liberal, fiscally conservative horse shit, right? Dude, like, that's bad. That's bad, right? And I want to question that, right? Because we need to be able to define the lines. But also, like, I want people to fucking talk about the fact that it's just like, this is companies that sell curriculum spreading and becoming these horrible fucking hydras.
Yep.
And like this is a function of capitalism. That's what this is. It's a function of capitalism and managerialism, need over production. And there are some real clear nuts and bolts material causes for this shit, right? And again, like I said, like, I don't want to seed the ground of the cultural argument and of just basic decency, because that's like important to me, and I think it's like an important part of being a fucking human being.
Yeah,
is having ethics. But like, also, like, let's like acknowledge that there is like an economic feedback loop that is feeding this thing. And that's bad. That's bad.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think also, like, I think that libs have a lot harder of a time squirming out of that case, right? But again, I mean, honestly, and I don't want to ramble too much here. I kind of want to kick it over to you, but like, you know, midterms really did fucking sell me on this idea that like the kayfabe really is prevailing, you know, and like one hand does wash the other, and like no one ran on anti-COVID measures, policies, or the fucking plundering of our economy that's being carried out, or fucking anything
or
like
really
that.
even Ukraine. Some few people mentioned it, but not like a strong.
No, exactly. Like literally, like it's basically like Marjorie Taylor Greene is kind of the only fucking person, right? And I don't even like Marjorie Taylor Greene.
And what does that do for the case? I mean, functionally,
it plays well, right? Yes. And that's what she's there for, right? And it's just of course they're not going to address this issue in this way, and the fact that there's a whole fucking industry around this stuff, because then it would actually move the fucking thing forward. And it's not what that's actually explicitly what all of this stuff is here to prevent, is any of this stuff being moved forward. And you know, whenever I talk to anybody I know in real life, normies, about this stuff, I will bring this stuff up, and because no one acknowledged that, because what they do then is they hear me say that they acknowledge that I'm ostensibly on the right wing side of this, and they go, oh well, and then they're arguing against the straw man.
Yes, yeah, of course,
of that position, and then I say, well, actually, like, you know, selling curriculum, all of this stuff, right? And then it basically just becomes, oh well, you know, that is a pretty good point, but it basically goes, you know, but I've never really encountered that before, and I'm really only just hearing it from you. And so I don't know, like, there's
sources.
Exactly, and like, so I can't really, like, you know, that's not really gonna change me all that much, because again, like, it isn't part of the fucking discourse. And so it just, that's it. And it drives me fucking nuts. And in that way, honestly, like, I love what Kanye's doing. Because you know, who's getting fucked by this more than anything? It's certainly not the Jews. It's the right.
Yeah.
Because they are fucking, it's funny, because I feel like I'm coming around to we're coming all the way back around to just having the position about the right that all millennials have about the left, and that I did not that long ago, is just like realizing, like, oh, they're the designated losers, and like, I hate that, and so I'm just raging against that.
Yeah.
And so, like, yeah, like, I just want the right to just absolutely get blasted in the ass, dude. I just, like, Fuck them, dude. It's the same reason for why I've been so against the left and the DNC. We all have for a while, if I may account for you in this
Sure.
also, which is just like when you're the designated good guy, right? When you're the designated option for some kind of change, right, and wiggle room, that actually makes you like the bigger threat
Yeah.
and like and the higher priority to take out because you represent you represent false consciousness.
That's one of the things that's so frustrating with Bernie specifically, like as a figure.
Oh, for sure. Well, and now they got him fucking sheepdogging again for this fucking railroad worker strike.
Oh, sure. They just pull him out like Chomsky now. Like, they keep him in the dark, pull him out. He's looking more and more wrinkled and weathered.
They go into the fucking warehouse in like the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark, and like, and they just like they bring like a forklift. Some like fat Italian guy with like a forklift gets like a big wooden crate and just like and brings out fucking Noam Chomsky to just be like, yeah, like unvaccinated people should starve in their homes.
Yeah, and then they're like, all right, back into your pit now, Chomsky.
Yeah, thanks, Grandpa. And then like,
and they just stare out the window longingly for the next 6 months.
They like the DNC is making the argument that people are hurt by labor strikes and they're shutting down these fucking railroad workers, and they got Bernie out here fucking towing the line for him. It's so fucking funny, man.
Wait, he's union busting, like strike?
I mean, I'm not exactly up to speed on what the specifics of what he's saying. But he's towing the line for the party, and the party's union busting.
That's nuts. I mean, it's not nuts. That's of course, but like, dude, goddamn. Yeah, man, dude. All of it's really bleak. Really, I was just getting. I like looked at the news a couple of days ago for the first time in a while, probably since the midterms, and just getting like the feedback that like I guess Raphael Warnock or whatever he won in the recount against Herschel Walker and all this and all that.
Took fucking forever.
Yeah, and now the Senate has like a 51-50 majority Democrat, and what the House is Democrat now or something too. So really, it just fucking sucks, bro.
dude. Honestly, good for them.
Yeah.
Good for them because they clearly. If it's even about wants or desires, they clearly want it more.
Yeah, definitely.
I doubt that is what it's about. But it's just like, dude, fuck the RNC, dude. Like, at this point, it's just like, just fuck both of them, dude. Like, it's to the. I actually will just vote for a fucking Democrat next election potentially because it's just like I fucking hate all these people.
Yeah,
well, I guess I just
suck dick, bro. I'm just gonna sit around and just be like, I'm not voting for any of you fuckers until you tell me something that sounds good, actually. And that's just where I'll be.
Well, see, you're the wise guy who didn't have any character arc with this. You just never voted in the first place, and you were correct. Yeah.
These people it's just so goddamn frustrating, dude. Like, in the city where I live in specifically, it's like, I don't know, it's one of the, like, I actually read an article the other day where, like, one of the top 5 on the misery index or some crazy bullshit made up thing from, like, New York Times or whatever, but basically just means that late capitalism's hollowed out your entire city. And like the roads are just like literally collections of rubble, like not asphalt or anything, just completely fucked. And like, you know, the sewers are all backed up and super old and not getting fixed, and nothing's getting fixed. And, you know, we had a brand new young Democrat who's the mayor, and she's a black lady, and this, that, the other, and everything's going to change, and not a fucking thing changed. It got worse. And then they put someone else in who's the opposite, and the same damn thing. The roads are still fucked. Everything that's still affecting my life still fucked, and will be. And nothing changes, man. Nothing changes except for select interest groups that are aligned with those people who were put into power. So, you know, when the young black lady was the mayor here, a lot of the nonprofits and stuff that do basically nothing but racial equity talk or whatever got good fat paychecks, and they got government grants, etc., but it did nothing for any regular black people or for me or for any other poor people in the city. And then when we switch over to, you know, some alternative to that, I'm not getting any more dollars on my paycheck. I'm not getting lower tax. I'm not getting anything from it. I'm not getting fixed roads. I'm not getting it's fucked. So it's like, no matter who is on that bill for me in my life, it doesn't change. And like, I can view it as a symbolic thing of like, well, I'm trying to stick it to the man because I don't like, he's a member of X party that holds X ideology. But it's like, at the end of the day, that doesn't do fucking jack shit for me. Except for maybe make me feel a little bit better because it makes me feel like I'm saying something, but it's just false. Like, it's illusion. So I don't know. That's where I get with the whole voting thing. I definitely understand people wanting to vote. If there was someone who came along and was like, hey, I'm going to do something that's actually going to change your life on a material level, like day to day, I would vote for them. Even though I don't think it's going to be meaningful as far as like they'd rig them out if they wanted to, I still would vote in order to show support. But I can't be like bothered to go and vote on some like, I'm gonna try to get it over on these people because I really would like to, but it just doesn't. You know what I mean? It doesn't do anything. So it's frustrating, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I'll say I got good news to balance it out a little bit.
Okay.
Man, we're getting a lot of tech layoffs,
Yes.
and I think it's great. And it's less about enjoying the suffering of others, and it's more just about like, yeah, I mean, we're like trimming unproductive workers.
Yeah.
So that's good. And I'm like really happy about that. And I like hope that it continues, and it looks like it is. I mean, I was reading some shit this week talking about like this shit's gonna ramp up even more in the new year, which makes sense because you get through holidays, you avoid that optics nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's great. I think it's genuinely great. As a Marxist, I think it's great that these people are losing their fucking jobs. And like, again, it's like it's the people above them that are doing it, right? It's not like workers have fucking come in and are just like liquidating this class or anything.
That'd be
right?
sick, bro.
But
Get
again,
out in the field, motherfucker.
but right, but like the professional managerial class is like our immediate enemy.
Yeah.
And I really am over the baby brained Bernie like brand of class consciousness, which like in retrospect is so insane that so many people were like sold just on this concept that like 99%, 1% is like actually like a meaningful and incisive read of like class dynamics. Like,
oh yeah,
like don't get me wrong, like the super elite is like a thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is like a big thing to acknowledge, right? But like American politics is a fucking cage match between the middle class,
Yeah.
and like whether you want to acknowledge that as legitimate or not, it's made legitimate and real just by like the mechanics that it's working in, that we're all working in. And yeah, man,
like statistically the 99% and 1% thing, yeah, that is correct, but the 99% is not a block of synonymous interest, you know what I mean? Like that's
well, and it's also like the 99% doesn't the 99% as like a thing isn't a fucking revolutionary subject. Yeah. That's incoherent.
Yeah.
That doesn't 100%. Make any sense. And like it gives you the false idea that like
your HR manager is on the same team as you, bro.
Well, no, exactly. Exactly. It gives you the false idea. It implies that solidarity is possible. I mean, it's the whole thing, right? Mm-hmm. It's a cry for solidarity, and it's fucking not. Yeah. It's fucking not. And guess what it led to? When everyone realized that solidarity wasn't in the fucking cards with that, it's cutthroat, and the answer wasn't actually found in like these great chops for class analysis that we all got from Bernie Sanders. Mm-mm. No, it immediately just fell to just liberal idealism. Mm-hmm, these people are just fucking racists, and not which again, like understanding the class dynamics of like MAGA is playing t-ball. Mm-hmm. It is the easiest puzzle you could possibly solve. It's like the first level in this game.
Yeah.
And no one solved. No one passed. I mean, not no one.
That's
but
because
like
the Bernie thing, like we were saying, like he got everyone. He's like, okay, this is what class analysis is. It's the 99% versus the 1%, and then that's where it ended, right? It's like everyone's like, okay, well, we did our class analysis, so now we're stuck here in the 99%, and we're trying to look around and we're trying to figure out now how do you organize within that. And obviously, the only thing if you don't look to class analysis because you've already done that with the 1 to 99 is what identity and identifiers. How do we, who's a class of individuals, and since we're not doing class, who's a race or who's a gender or who's a fucking sexuality or whatever that we can use to, somehow styrate this thing. It's really fucked up. And that's the thing. It's like, that's why actual class analysis is important, because like, I think that the 99% and the 1% thing, yeah, it's completely fucked. I think it's not something that actually holds meaning as far as the functional critique of capitalism or anything. I think it's only useful, if it is at all, as a way of like getting people to be like, oh wow, there is this whole, huge, it is an economic question essentially. I think that kind of centers it as an economic question. And I think that's important. But I think from there, you have to do real class analysis and look at like production, and not just dollars in people's pockets and etc. And I think that's what the real issue is. It's like it got people sold on like, yeah, we're doing class analysis, but they're not actually. Like they did the false class analysis, and like you're saying, it creates a false consciousness, and people don't even know how to actually do real class analysis at that point, and don't even want to begin to think that they should, or don't think that they need to learn how because they think they've already fucking done it.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think that fucking hey, what do I think? I think it feels good right now to like get back to like it feels like getting back to our roots a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And that feels good. And I think it also just like speaks to, I mean, it's just like my belief in God, right? It's just like it feels good, it feels right, it feels true. It's fucking good. It's right, it's true. And like and I think that to your point, more directly to your point, dude, like only talk you can't it's like a meal, okay? You got your main course, your proteins and your veggies and all that. And that's your base, right? That's your fucking base structure, right? And then you get your pudding afterwards, you get your scoop of ice cream, that's your superstructure, right? Mm-hmm. You can't just only be having your superstructure. You can't just only be talking superstructure, man. Like it can't all be I don't know any fucking conversations in popular mainstream politics that are really getting in on industrial relations and it's just not a thing. Mm-mm. And I mean, I'm saying this as like I could do a lot better too, because and it's the reason and this is where and I think this is an important thing to acknowledge too, because it's really because it makes it a little more complicated, right? It's not just about it's not just about willing ignorance and just like bad intentions. It's also just like, dude, that shit's fucking harder to talk about.
Yes.
Like because like talking about whether or not Germany is going to deindustrialize, or like whether or not we're going to bring back chip, like whether or not we're going to bring back some form of manufacturing due to what's going on with China, that's like a lot drier, and that's not like an entertainment product.
Yeah.
The way that trans teachers are. And again, I'm not saying that the cultural stuff is completely vapid and not worth anything, but like, you know what I mean? And it takes a good amount of discipline that I haven't always rose to the challenge of.
I think it's hard to, as a member of the society that you're talking about, it's like you can't separate yourself entirely from it and be someone who's like looking at it from this like outside holy perspective where you can say I can take the high road and the logical course of action every time, because you yourself are a part of this. You're in this mechanism, and you have your own interest within it too, and so it affects you on a day-to-day basis. Like I find myself being caught up in things too where I'm like, well, why is it that I'm getting caught up on this when it's really not the real base issue here, but it's like, well, it still matters, right? So it's just, I think it's about prioritizing and then like being able to delineate where these issues are coming from and how they tie together, rather than just like getting caught up on the next new big thing that's frustrating, that everyone's bitching about until the next thing pops up. Even though you're still going to be affected by those because that's just what's going on around you. Like the trans teacher thing, I get riled up about that, even though I know that's not the real meat of the issue that we're dealing with here. It is a satellite, and you know it ties into it, and it's something that is real and it matters too. Yeah, I don't know. This is one of those things of political life. It's like it's really a fucking crapshoot.
Yeah.
So I'm basically just trying to get better at loving myself, loving others, dude, loving God, getting it right. Really.
100%. 100%. I don't, as far as like the political me goes, I don't know if like religion is the answer for everybody. I don't know if I can tell everybody like just check out of politics because this system just needs to be allowed to fail.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I mean, short of recommending some other kinds of things, and as a political person, there's that, right? But also like as a religious person, it is like, no, you should go to church. You know what I mean? and so, you know, it's not the solution to these wider things. And I think that probably places a lot of difference between me and a lot of other people that are religious, but it's gonna fucking save your soul, and that's important because politics is going to fucking warp your soul.
Mm-hmm.
But our culture is gonna warp your fucking soul, and it does so to make you a malleable, manageable, and instrumentalized political subject,
to where you can be put into any place into the mechanism. But when you have a more religious or spiritual life and practice yourself, it actually begins to show you more so your place. You get to know a little bit more so your role in life, and it kind of puts things in the right perspective. And so it makes it a little bit easier to stay constant in the sea of shifting, you know, stuff like that, shifting demands or shifting ideologies, etc.
Totally. Well, I feel like this is a good ending point, man. It's good to get back to it and fucking get a real fucking mean head of steam going with this conversation after some time away.
Yeah, dude. And if we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up here, I guess we could quickly discuss, at least on air too, give a preview if we want to watch Hebrew to Negro next week for our episode.
100%. I'll say one thing. I don't know if it'll be in the cards next week. Only if for the main reason I'm saying that is just because I don't even know where to fucking watch this thing, dude.
Yeah, I think it might.
So let's figure out some basic. Let's figure out the base first, and then we'll go with the superstructure after. Right? But yeah, we're 100% gonna do a movie episode of. Is it Hebrew to Negro? Is that what it's called?
It's either Hebrew to Negro or it's Negro to Hebrew, but it's one or the other. I kind of want.
I think knowing I think it would be Hebrews. Yeah,
Hebrew to Negro.
And the first thing on Google that comes up is the Anti-Defamation League page.
Base.
Straight up, dude. Which, like, as we know, we can get a copy of this on Amazon. So there's that. I bet it got review bombed. Dude, it didn't even get review bombed. It has 4.6 stars out of 5, bro.
Oh, dude, that's the power of the Hotep Nation, bro.
That is the power, dude. This is straight up. Oh my god.
Heart of a Lion.
The top review by Stephen. This is for the book, by the way, because it's based on a book. The first review is June 4th, 2020 by Stephen H. Prop. 4 out of 5 stars. All caps. The first volume of a comprehensive worldview. Let's go, dude.
Yes, bro. Okay, yeah.
Dude,
we'll have to watch that.
You know that's like some fucking middle class reactionary black dad who wears like polar fleece vests and like walks with a walking stick. That fucking rules, dude. I can't even find this movie's fucking page on Google anymore.
It was on Amazon, and then they were gonna like put a warning about it being possibly anti-Semitic or misinformation or something on there, like Amazon Prime, I think. I don't know if that ever happened or not, though.
Man, this is wild.
But yeah, we'll have to get on that sometime, if not next week, the following or the next. Shout out to Kyrie for.
Dude, just oh no, we can get it. We can get it on Amazon. I'm sorry, I'm totally
boom,
bro. Okay, here's the other thing though. We got to be again. Next week might be. This movie's 3.5 hours long. Dude, and even on it's undefeated. It has even more reviews on Amazon, and it's fucking 4.5 stars here too.
Yes.
It has 2,400 reviews.
Holy fuck, bro.
Which, obviously Hotep Nation can get their numbers up a little bit.
Yeah, let's pump those numbers.
Dude, the subtitle of this film is "Wake Up, Black America."
Dude, yes.
Hilarious. I'm watching like the little like preview that just auto plays, and it's just like members of the Hasidim just like dancing. Oh man, dude, we are just going at it.
It reminds me of the fucking what's his name? I want to say Rashida Tlaib, but it's not. Tariq
Nasheed, dude.
That's who it is. Yeah, his movie we watched a while back.
Oh, Buck Breaking.
Buck Breaking. Yes, fuck. Holy shit.
Well, we said so Hoteps have the Holy Trinity. They're super homophobic, which was Buck Breaking.
Yeah.
Super anti-Semitic, which is this, and they're super sexist. And so like we got a third movie to drop in the next couple of years at least.
Dude, if only Dr. Umar was still around. He could have done it.
All right, dude. That's a good stopping point. I'm kind of looking forward to watching this movie. I'm sure that I won't be after like the first hour and a half.
Yeah.
But that isn't even halfway through the movie. But yeah, dude, it's gonna happen. We're gonna take one for the team. We're gonna watch this. I mean, this movie probably is fucking dog shit.
I mean, it's probably horrible. But here's the thing. There's probably a nugget or two in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, man, all I want to say is every person has value. Every person has something to offer, right? Especially us.
I'm just going to let these people speak their truth, you know what I mean? It may not be my truth, but I'm going to let them speak it. Love speech, baby.
I mean, there is no universal truth, and so we have to hear this out.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Slav, take it easy, man. We'll talk next week.
All right, sounds good.